Okay, now we're recording. Uh,
Oh,
yes, Max has a mustache. Very nice mustache.
I do now.
I think, as I say, you have very old world kind of facial hair, where like you have a lot of it. It's very thick. Because people now don't really seem to have a lot of facial hair. It's very scraggly, but it doesn't connect. But like you have like a 5 o'clock shadow, like you're like a 1950s kind of. But I think it's like I don't know. Back then, I think they just had more. They were like much more. I don't know, not like masculine, but they had like a weird hormone going on.
Yeah, something like that. I think it's there's that study I heard referred to
Yeah.
recently where people said that us drinking all this stuff and eating all this stuff from plastic is making our testosterone
Oh, I don't doubt it. Yeah, because don't
decrease.
people seem to have devolved a bit? Like everyone seems very baby faced and like cherubic now. Uh,
Yeah.
like in the 40s, it was all, everyone had like angles. Just everyone was like sharp faces, very gaunt.
Yeah.
Also, old people were all skinny, and then
Yeah.
now everyone who's old is fat. Like they're all ballooned.
Yeah, I think the lack of jawline nowadays and the
Yeah.
old people is due to the same thing. I think we're just fat now.
Yes, this is a pro jawline podcast. You have to have a jaw to listen to this. If your chin is recessed, you should just stop listening to this and get surgery, and then come back. Yeah.
It's like a magazine sponsoring or approving picking somebody for president. We
Yeah.
just choose not fat people on this
Oh
podcast.
god. Yeah. It's like the New York Post. Like they just have like those awful headlines where like every headline is like just there to make everyone angry. It's like
Yeah.
it's a horrible
Oh
rag.
man.
I hate that.
Yeah. No, fat people are great. I'm gonna be one day.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I am planning on it. It's gonna
Yeah.
happen. Yeah.
The other day I was hanging out with a mutual friend, and
Yeah.
I said to her, I'm going to be a real fat piece of shit one day. And she thought I said to her, you're going to be a, and she got really mad. And I was like, what's going on?
Like, also, that's such a funny thing to just say unprovoked to somebody. Like, you're
Yeah.
gonna be a fat piece of shit.
You're going to be a real fat piece of shit one day.
It's funny how it works. Like self-criticism, you can say very easily, but if you do it to someone else, it's a lot more serious. Like I can be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm such a phony." It's like you're such a phony. That's
Yeah.
worse. Yeah.
Self-criticism is probably symptomatic of something much more destructive than criticism of other people.
Yeah. What is it? It's like insecurity. I don't know,
Yeah.
manifestation of insecurity. I don't know.
But that's probably not actually true at all. I think that I was just the exactly wrong when I said that.
Honestly, we should get your therapist on here and do like a round table. I don't know.
Oh dear. Yeah, that would be good. My
Yeah,
poor dear.
yeah, we could both have therapists, and they could be like a next to us, and they could just chime in.
The angels on our shoulders. We'll
Yeah,
have an
yeah.
angel devil.
Oh, that'd be funny if you had like a good therapist and a bad therapist. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
I told our friend Cash once, Cash, you're the angel on my shoulder, but unfortunately the devil on my shoulder is me.
It's just like your hand.
Yeah. And then Cash is like, you should do this. And I was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Like, sorry, baby, I'm too evil. Yeah.
Sorry, baby.
Yeah.
Sorry, baby.
Yeah, I don't jive like that. Yeah. Oh, dude, I would kill to be one of those guys. Like, just someone who just treats everyone like garbage, gets away with it. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Just like, sorry, Toots, I'm going to Vegas. Then you like drive off or something.
Yeah,
There's no
absolutely.
consequences. Yeah.
You just have to, right when you meet people, you have to cement the fact that you're an asshole.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
about to get a neighbor here, a new neighbor. And the first thing I'm going to say to them is, it's nothing personal, but I don't talk to any human being. I'm very private and I don't talk to anyone. It's nothing personal. And then
Right. Yeah.
nothing I do after that will be surprising. If I start talking to them, they're like, oh, great, he likes me. If I
Yes.
don't talk to them, they're like, it's just him. This is just how he is.
Oh my god, it's such a good tactic. Yeah, if you start off negative, then everything else you do is like mind blowing.
Yeah.
That's why assholes are so charming because you just want to please them, and then I fall for that all the time. I'm like, oh, this guy's such an asshole, and then when you get like a good reaction from them, you feel like you've achieved something with them.
I don't fall for that.
I always fall for it. I fall for it like immediately, like get like angry. Yeah.
What's the Team America World Police line?
Oh, well, yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, there
Okay.
is some people are pussies, some people are dicks. Now pussies get fucked by dicks, and assholes just want to shit all over everything, dicks and pussies. But dicks
Jesus.
also fuck assholes.
Ah, Christ. No, that was a great movie. That was part of the best movie of the 2000s,
Certainly,
or the
certainly.
Bush era, I think. Yeah.
That one or A Serious Man. When did that come out?
I don't know. I didn't expect you to say Serious Man after Team America. Yeah,
Oh,
let me see. A Serious Man.
that's
Uh,
such a good movie.
oh,
2009. That's Obama, wasn't it?
2009. Hold on. My internet's kind of wonky. What the?
It
Oh.
was 2009.
All right. I'm sort of worried because the Zoom call is working, but like my internet browser doesn't work.
Hmm.
The hell? Oh no, there it goes. Okay. All right. Sweet. No, Facebook still doesn't. All right, never mind. This is boring. Okay, let me get back to this.
We'll cut that part out. Put
Yeah, yeah.
put just funny music over it, like.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, I was thinking, yeah, maybe we should become one of those insufferable podcasts where we have music the whole time. Because like I've seen those where there was like a soft background music, just because
Oh
the
God,
people are so boring. It's not very fun.
people don't want that. Have you
No,
ever heard the podcast "Talking to Myself in the Park" with Claire O'Kane?
no, that sounds like a good one.
It's really good. It's there were only like 29 episodes because nobody listened to it, but it's my favorite podcast.
Oh, okay.
Just it's two people talking and joking around in a very sweet way while they're like nice ambient sounds of New York around.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's so pleasing.
No, because it's all about the experience. Like you listen to that, you're like, oh, I want a park bench, listening to a nice conversation.
Yeah,
It's
there's one
fun.
where they just watch people do tricks, and then every once in a while they're like, "Oh, that was cool."
Yeah, because for us, I imagine you listen to us talk and you're like, oh, these guys are so smart. I feel like I'm in
Yeah, yeah.
their midst. Yeah.
Yeah, these guys have not ever felt liked by women.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, it's like a
Never
mental
felt
tennis
liked.
match between these two, just the cornerstones of history. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's like I know. Just between the two of us, we have so much not getting laid energy.
yeah.
It's
They're
crazy.
just
Yeah.
like we're just like neither of us are particularly unattractive.
Yeah.
The
I
thing,
think we are very extremely average guys.
right? Yes,
But our
yeah.
comedy, I think, hopefully gets us another point,
Yeah.
and I think that's all we have. Yeah, that's all we have.
It's
It's
just open that horizon.
yeah, yeah. But you know, that's every great person in history was never that terrific looking because they had to compensate for something.
Hmm.
Yeah, you know,
Um, I don't know. I usually just hide. That's usually my tactic.
from women, you just hide.
Yeah.
Like yeah, hide.
Have you seen the Rory Scovel Conan appearance where he's
No.
like, where he does that fake Southern accent for no reason and never explains it? And he's like, "Did you know you can hide at any time?" It's like it's automatically an adventure. You see some guy hiding, you're like, "What's going on? Who's after you?" And it's like, "Nobody."
I would love that. Just going on a date with someone and they just go behind a tree. And then,
Yeah, just go
yeah,
hide.
yeah. You know,
I would hide.
see,
Yeah,
I've already seen you. It's like about.
I love being mischievous like that.
Oh, I love a little mischief. Yeah, because when you're older, you can't do mischief. You can't steal candy. You can't take a pen from a
I
bank.
would do that.
Oh yeah, because it's such a thrill. Yeah, you can't do little. You can't tickle someone with a feather. That's a
No.
nice. I love that kind of mischief.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally. I
yeah.
actually did at my cousin's wedding during his first dance with his wife. I actually did put a banana peel on and he slipped on it, and I got in so much trouble.
Oh god, yeah. He like breaks his pelvis. Yeah, but it still makes like the whoop noise.
Yeah, he got red in the face, and it was really funny.
Banana peel. Yeah.
That's
It's
so
great.
funny.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, like I think banana peel is one of the great comedic gags. Never gets old. People slipping on banana peels, monkeys with cigars, great one. Yeah, yeah. Or monkeys with any kind of technology. Monkey typewriter, monkey cigar, monkey phone. Everything monkey with technology is perfect comedy.
Look at how I can make myself look like the Groucho Marx glasses.
Oh my god. Holy shit! If your mouth was just positioned a few inches up, holy shit, dude! You really are Groucho right now. Oh my god! It's like
Yeah.
if your skull was squished in a bit and like had worse proport. Yeah, it would just. Oh, that's amazing! Wow. Oh my god. Yeah, if only you just had like a bow tie and stuff.
Oh, I wish.
Yeah,
Just that'd be great.
and like a big cigar. Yeah,
Like a big,
yeah,
yeah.
that
And
could
it's
come
like
back.
way big. Like I can't even fit it in my mouth.
Yeah, well, dude, it's how big those old showbiz cigars were. Like those giant ass showbiz cigars, where it was like the length of like a book, and it was huge.
I
Like
know
yeah,
that George Burns used his for timing purposes.
yeah, because it was like you would sit a setup, take a puff, and then the thing.
Then you smoke
Yeah,
while they were laughing.
yeah, it was a huge deal, and like even back then, like if you went into showbiz, you had to have a hat and a cigar, or else no one would take it seriously. That was like a
Yeah.
big deal. Yeah,
And a lot of comics have something like that, just a placeholder while people are laughing. Like
exactly, like a
Joe
bottle of
Barrett
water.
will just like stutter in the softest voice. I think it's so funny. He has one of those ones. He's like, and then.
Yeah,
So good.
yeah, or like what's the Mark Normand like haha that thing? He was like
Yeah.
yes, but it's just his cigar pull.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot who it was. There was a guy who was like, yeah, I had a cigar every set until I lost my jaw to cancer, and then I didn't have it anymore. Yeah, it was
That's so funny.
crazy.
Yeah. Some people can't do it their whole lives.
Yeah, we're very lucky to be post vaudeville. That's good.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. It was the monkey that lost his jaw to cancer.
That monkey was taking in 100K a year. He had a great career. Yeah,
Yeah, he had a great career.
Yeah.
Yeah, got lung cancer and died, left behind a bunch of kids.
Oh god. He's on like a little monkey deathbed, like in nature. Yeah. With his little monkey IV. Yeah.
Yeah, the executor opens the will and he's like, "Hoo-ha."
Yeah. And then there's like the petulant stepchild is like angry he didn't get named. He's like, like sorry, you just wanted his money, you piece of shit. Yeah, you didn't
Yeah,
want it.
jumping on the tables and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like,
They're throwing dung at the monkey lawyer. Yeah.
the monkey judge has its tail around the gavel. It's like,
Oh, Monkey Court would be a fucking great show. Yeah. Yeah.
monkey court.
Monkey Court. Like it should be like monkeys, like human defendants, and they're just like trying to like it's like Judge Judy with the judge is a monkey, bailiff is a monkey, audience are all monkeys. The
Yeah, and then the monkey at the typewriter is typing everything up, accidentally types Hamlet.
Yeah. He's like, monkey, can you please read that back? He's like, oh, to be some, yeah.
To be or not to be.
Yeah. Like, I don't think that was right. I don't know.
That's so funny.
Oh my god, yes, a monkey stenographer is hilarious.
Yes, monkey amanuensis.
Yeah. Oh shit, that's great.
An amanuensis.
Yeah. All right, well, that was a good start. I think that was a good tangent. No,
It certainly was.
no history involved.
What have you been reading?
I haven't been reading very much, unfortunately. I should be because I have tons of books, but I haven't really gotten into them. But I thought might be because I was actually thinking about like a scenario for like alternate history because I don't, yeah, I've watching tons of alternate history like the Plot Against America and the Man in the High Castle, all good stuff. But then I was trying to. Did you watch like those shows on History Channel where it was like they would pit like two elites? So it's very hard to talk to you and. Now you're like a Chinese guy from like old Hollywood kind of.
I quit. I stopped doing
It's like Groucho doing a Chinese guy.
Yeah.
No, but what was it? So yeah, so I was thinking like so they have those shows where it's like two historical elites fighting units will fight like in a war game and like who will win, like samurai versus this like Marines, but like 5 Marines versus a legion of Roman soldiers. But I was actually thinking, like, I think if the Mongols from like the peak Mongol time, like 1200 AD or like 12th century AD, if the Mongols of that time, like all 7 million of them, just appeared on the shores of the U.S., I feel like they could really go for it. Yeah,
Yeah, certainly.
yeah. Because I was thinking, because there's part. It depends if if you land in like a DC, the military's there, they'll see you coming. But if you land in like I was thinking Texas, you go in through like the coast of Texas. They come in and ride into like a Walmart. They catch you all by surprise, and there's always Mongol archers shooting arrows into
Yeah.
like guys with Punisher t-shirts and stuff. But they're all getting and it's
So,
like there's just like Mountain Dew and blood on the floor,
mm,
and people being like, crushed by shelves of products. It's like a good metaphor for like American decadence stuff.
it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's like Gallipoli, and all these Mongols are coming, and then the British officers are like, fix the bayonets and come
yeah,
at the bayonets, and they keep getting killed. I'm like,
yeah.
sure they're so advanced. We can't just keep using bayonets. Nonsense. Keep using
These savages don't know how to fight. Yeah, they get like.
savages.
Oh, I would love that though. But
I just
also, yeah. But just
while you were
imagine if.
talking,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
while you were talking, I got an image of 9/11, but like lumberjacks at the base of the towers, just like with axes.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! All right, well, we definitely can't release this in a few days when it becomes 9/11.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I just think that's so funny though. And then there are just all these conspiracy theorists. They're like lumberjack axes don't cut steel beams.
Yeah, it's like the whole thing where like they cut it in like an angle so it falls a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Denver, somebody else.
Yeah. It's like we thought this would be safe. They said it was evacuated. I don't know.
Yeah, and then you see these ships with like twin towers for masts going around.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Or it was a very eager beaver, like a cartoon beaver, just chiseling away termites. Yeah.
Oh, termites! That's so good.
Yeah, like a cartoonish. Oh God.
I love that.
Well, it's almost 20 years. I think we can joke about it.
Yeah, it's time.
So imagine, I mean, was it Kennedy 60 something? So I guess in the 80s you can make Kennedy jokes, right? Or is that still too soon?
I've been making them. I don't know if you can, but I certainly have.
Yeah, like I feel like Kennedy joke. I think 20 years is almost that's statute of limitations.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure there were Pearl Harbor jokes.
Oh, I just thought of a really bad joke.
Oh yeah.
Earlier when I said when I called a monkey typographer or whatever an apenwensis, you'd be like, yeah, monkeys aren't apes, and I'd be like, they're statutory apes.
Statutory ape.
Yeah.
That's very good. I like it.
I'm pretty proud. Statutory apes.
Yeah, it's very rude.
We're all statutory apes.
Statutory. Yeah. Yeah, because we have a stature.
Yeah.
And we are upright. So, yeah, makes sense. That's a very good look.
This one?
Face. Yeah. Yeah, people are really missing out if they're not. I think it's incredulous. That's what that is. Stop. Stop. What is that? I can't describe that with words. It's like you're amazed, but you're dumbfounded, but you're also critical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hurts so much to do this with my sunburned face.
Oh, you got sunburned?
Yeah, look, see how it's like white around here?
Oh, yeah.
Crunching it up.
No, I was trying to do this face. It's like, ooh, spicy, like spicy hot. Like, ooh,
we should do a segment just for people who are watching this to reward them.
Yes.
We both just do our impressions of different emotions or something. Like,
I'm down.
People at work would have me do that. They would give me a very complex emotion, and I would try to express it between calls. They were like biting into a hamburger and finding that there's a pickle. You asked for no pickles, but you don't really hate them that much. And then I was like,
it's like you'll take it but leave it. You don't want to send it back.
yeah,
it still hurts. That's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's almost like you're like a sociopath where you really know how to just fake it.
It's autism.
It is, yeah. Well,
yeah.
It's not very cool of them to use you as their own personal theater. They're just like, all right, Max, what's another one? Now do.
They're like monkey. That's what it was. But I got to like roast them in between. So I was their monkey, but I was also able to roast them. I was the jester.
That's good.
So the king was like, dance for us, and then I was like, oh, but the king is dumb because that's the reward you get is you get to say whatever you want as long as you're entertaining everyone.
Yeah, it's like Rasputin. That's how I got in there.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Rasputin.
He could have just been an ordinary court jester, but he really upgraded
Yeah.
to
He
feeling
was
at
the
people's daughters and doing
he
creepy
was
stuff.
he was the Milton Berle of that time,
No, yeah.
especially posthumously.
Oh yeah.
Because you know how they put his penis on
And I heard
exhibit,
Milton Berle had a big old thing.
and he would also show it, but Rasputin just showed it to people after his death.
Oh god. Well, you know what's crazy? People would ask Milton Berle to like do stuff with it. Like they thought it was funny. Like they would like, hey Milton, do the thing, and he would like whip it out and like slap it on a table or something. And it was like everyone loved it. It was such a weird culture. Yeah.
That is funny.
It's very hard for me to like imagine people in 1940 being dirty. Like that's like a very hard thing for me.
Yeah, they were horrible though.
Yeah, like the jokes they were saying at roast back then were fucking crazy. Like it's nuts.
I know.
Yeah.
I was just listening to Red State, Blue State again,
uh,
where he talks about Johnny Carson talking about the honeymoon.
oh, I love that joke. Yeah, where it's like before 1960, there was no such thing as sex. You just went on your honeymoon.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like, oh, they haven't left the room for a whole week. Oh,
yeah.
crazy.
And then all these old women are like, "Oh, Johnny."
Oh, Johnny. Yeah, yeah.
Love it.
I love the one where he's like the guy, like the guy's like shipping away. He's like, "Can I please get a kiss?" And like he had to have like three guys dancing synchronously behind him, like, "Give him a kiss, doll. Give him a kiss."
Yeah,
And she
he's
was
like,
like,
"That's the
"Maybe
plot of
kiss."
the whole movie. He just wants
Yeah,
one."
he wants one kiss. He's like, "Come on, gal. I'm shipping to Iwo Jima tomorrow.
Yeah,
Can I just
this
get
is
one
serious.
kiss?" Yeah,
We're going to Normandy. This is serious.
yeah.
I love
I
that.
love that. Oh, it's so
It's so good.
good.
I was trying to interest one of my friends in him the other day, and we were watching his Conan appearances.
Oh, he and
He's
Norm.
crazy on those.
I think Norm has the edge on the Tonight Show appearances, but Conan's are up there. They're good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, especially the ones where he pretends to be drunk are so funny. Like the Irish the St. Patty's Day one where he like pretends to be tipsy.
Yeah.
There's also the one he goes on Jimmy Fallon and he calls him like obstreperous, like, and then he like touches his leg. He's like, "Oh, this is okay. It's like very uncular. I'm touching your leg. It's like a nice uncle thing."
Yeah,
Yeah.
avuncular. It should just be uncular.
Uncular, dude. I wish I had that vocabulary on hand. Like, it's amazing how many words he has so many good adjectives and words in his head. He just like can use huge vocabulary. I wish I was like
Read
that.
some books.
He has read a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it a surprise the comedians who read a lot are like really good? Like Gary Goldman reads a lot. Great.
Yeah. He does.
That was a good face. Yeah.
That's my Mia Farrow face.
Oh, whoa, yeah. Oh God, that's a bit scary.
And then Norm reads a lot. He reads a lot of fine literature, Gogol and all that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, because it gives you a bit of color. Because there's like day-to-day life, but then you have to read the nice classics, the canon. Yeah, yeah,
You have to have things to joke about. You have to have ideas in your brain.
yeah, exactly.
What Orwell said something about how he said some people say no writer should get a job, but I say they should get a job because if they don't and they're not out doing things, what are they supposed to write about?
Right? Yeah, exactly. It's like when people quit their day job to just do like pursue something. It's like, yeah, we're just like sitting around for like all day. You're not doing anything. You're just going to like coffee shops and hanging around. Yeah. Like, Orwell, he goes to India, like, sees an elephant get killed, and he goes to Spain and gets shot in the throat by a sniper. And then he's like, "All right, I've seen a lot of shit. I can write that stuff." Yeah,
He gets shot in the neck. That's amazing.
that's insane that he lived. It's crazy. Yeah.
You know the story. I'm sure I've told the story about that on this podcast. Where
We probably have said, yeah. I think we did like an Orwell thing earlier.
We probably did.
Yeah.
I could talk about him forever, but
say it.
When somebody at his hospital bed said he was so lucky, and he's like, "If I were lucky, I wouldn't have been shot in the first place."
Yeah.
Because it missed by so little
That's a
space.
very good point. It's like, yeah, not being shot's the ideal situation. That's the lucky one. Yeah.
Not being in battle is even better.
Yes. Yeah.
Like that joke in Mr. Blandings Builds His Dream House, where they're talking about how they're not going to get all these luxuries and save a bunch of money. And then their friend, who's also an accountant, is like, "Yeah, don't take that cruise next year and don't buy that other mansion. You've now saved millions of dollars."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Yeah, it's funny how people always try to like rationalize all the things in their life. Like, no, see, this was just an omen for this. It's like, no, those are just two events that you connected yourself, and it doesn't
This
work
is
that
an
way.
omen.
Yeah, is this an omen, or is it just is this a regular event or omen?
Omen sounds like a German term for two ohms.
Omen, yeah, omen.
Omen.
Oh, wer bist die? No, I was
Ich
trying to do like a
once by Omen.
yeah, I was trying to do a thing of like the Nazis at your door, like where are the omens? Show us the omens.
Omens.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, we're the I forget the other augurs. We're the portents.
Oh, that's a very niche word.
Yeah, portents
Yeah, portents.
and augurs.
What's an augur?
Um, it's an augur is somebody who tells the future. I think specifically by divining meaning from bird entrails.
Oh, right. Okay. So auteur is a different one. That's a different. That's like
Yeah, auteur just means author in French.
I hate that. Yeah, I hate
Yeah,
this like nom de plume.
yeah,
I hate nom de plume. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Just pen name. We have a word for it.
Yeah, it's very funny how humble people were back then. Where like they were so afraid of their art becoming public because they would get persecuted. They had to have pen names. Now
Hmm.
it's like everyone knows everyone's name.
Or yeah, or they just pretended to be a dude.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Because nobody listened to women back then.
No, yeah, it's like Mary Shelley. She's like, "Can I please get this done?"
Yeah, there's actually a really funny essay by Dickens. You know George Eliot. She had that pen name George Eliot to pretend to be a man so she could get published.
Hmm.
Well, Dickens wrote an essay before she came out as a man, guessing before she came out as a woman, guessing that she was a woman, and he was right.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh shit, that's so dangerous though, because it's like outing someone almost. Like
yeah,
everyone's like, "Oh, she could be."
yeah. Certainly, it's weird, but
But also, it's funny because like I know how women type. I know how they write. Yeah, I can
also, speaking of Mary Wollstonecraft, she had that big feminist book, like that landmark feminist book,
Oh yes.
and apparently, pretty much the only one of the founding fathers who paid any attention to it was Aaron Burr.
Oh, our guy. We love
Yeah,
Aaron Burr.
our
Yeah,
man. He's our man.
yeah,
He
yeah.
he, he and his wife, before she died, apparently they put Mary Wollstonecraft's picture above their mantelpiece.
Oh shit, they were like patrons, like serious.
Yep.
Interesting. Isn't that funny? How like yeah, there's like I bet what's his face Hamilton didn't give a shit. He was probably trying to like bang her or something.
He
It's
was.
like it's
I
like
was reading just when I need to feel some rage. I read Hamilton's writing.
yeah.
So he gets so flowery, and it's so stupid every
Oh,
time.
I know Hamilton was probably like, "Oh, you're right. I write poetry too. We should like meet up
Yeah.
and collab." And they're like, "Ah, get out of here, you piece of shit."
Yeah. Ew. He's one of those
Yeah.
like faux Marxists.
Yes, and like he was like a faux Marxist when Marxism was like 10 years old. Like he was just
Yeah.
like one of the early adopters who just didn't even get it.
Yeah. Way
Yeah,
before Marx, and then
yeah.
but yeah, he was like he is what he is to John Locke what most male undergraduates are to Marx nowadays.
Oh god, that's so funny. Yeah, just like people just like yeah. There's a whole thing where everyone like it seems a lot of people are getting they're learning a lot of political economy concepts from memes, which is not a good way to learn stuff.
Yeah,
You should
no.
probably read the source material. That's a good.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding.
Oh,
There are
actually,
reasons.
speaking of which, a good book. Oh, let me show this to the camera. This is good actually. If you want to get into Marx, it's called Marx's Capital.
Oh,
It's Ben Fine and Alfredo Saad Filho. It's like really good. I read it in college, but it
yeah,
has a lot of good like. It's kind of like you can definitely read it like on its own or alongside, but it has like nice like diagrams of like
yeah.
how commodities work and all the equations and stuff.
You know me. I only read for good writing. If it's not good
Yeah.
writing, I can't read it.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. We should definitely make a Goodreads like book list. Honestly, that'd be cool.
Shit.
Because
We
like
should-
I feel like we've mentioned a lot of books on here. We should just make a big master list. Because
Yeah,
also I feel like between you and me, it'd be like the worst like blockbuster employee picks. Where it's like, do you want to read Arash's fucking boring book, or do you want to read Max's Gore Vidal book that no one
yeah.
has heard of? Yeah, it's like
Nobody's heard of.
I know. I feel like I feel like anybody, if we recommended anything to anyone, they would just kill themselves. Like, I don't think
Well,
they would.
you are more of an intellectual because I read for purely entertainment value.
Oh
That's
no, but yeah, no,
for.
but I still haven't read a lot of
Everything I
the
pick up
classics
is
you've read.
incidental. What?
Yeah, but you've read all the classics. Like you've read like Brothers Karamazov and everything. Like you actually know good writing. I don't really know good writing.
Yeah, that's everything I know is incidental to having read for good writing, and that's it.
That's pretty cool though. That's a
That's
good one. Yeah,
yeah,
but
and
also
that's
it's like I feel like a very dumb reader because I'll like read a book and I'll assume it'll just like absorb it and know it, but then I'll forget it all in like two
yeah.
weeks.
Who cares? It was enjoyable. That's what I think. I mean, if
Ah,
I,
yeah,
if
yeah.
I start reading for the facts of it, I'm going to forget them and feel bad. But if I
That's a
had a
yeah.
good time,
Yeah, it's a good point. Honestly, it's a win if I just have like one interesting takeaway. Like, ah, well, in New York in the 1800s, that was the thing. That's like,
sometimes
oh,
sometimes you'll find a book that's just a garden of joy, and
yeah.
you'll be able to just look forward every day to going back to it and finding just as much wit, just as high a density of wit on every page as there was on the page before,
Oh,
and that sort of thing. But no,
absolutely.
Gore Vidal was the best. He was just I like him because he's just so entertaining all the time.
Yeah, very, very cool. I kind of like those 20th century political writers who are like always debating. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've definitely talked about this. How cool it is! Like, you go on a debate, you like fucking roast some southern governor or something, and like
Yeah.
fucking make him look
And
good.
then it's on YouTube now.
Yeah,
Kids 50 years hence are looking at it. They're like, "Wow, awesome!"
yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
It was. I read this passage in Lincoln, which I just thought was very a good representation of how good a novelist Vidal is.
But this is a novel. It's not like a
Yeah.
biography of
Oh,
Lincoln,
it's
or
a novel of Lincoln, but it's pulled from the facts.
okay.
So he had a few books like that where he wrote novels of American history, and the character of Lincoln is so compelling in the book because he's by turns folksy and he's bipolar, and then he's also very cold, but he's able to charm anybody, and then he like can be extremely imperious at times and is able to command a room. It's very good.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think you just kind of mentioned this last time where he was like apparently very shy and like he had to like warm up, so he would start his speeches kind of meek and then he
Yeah.
would get loud. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there. It's apparently at his first inaugural, he was actually like his voice was like quivering.
Oh.
Yeah, for the beginning of it.
It's literally like every movie. It's like every scene in a movie where like he gets to the microphone, everyone's murmuring, and he's like, "Hello," and then like the microphone feeds
Is this
back.
on?
Yeah, is this on? Everyone's like, "Say something!" Oh, boo!
Yeah.
Then he starts talking, and it's like then he just becomes Lincoln, and everyone's like, "Ah, that's crazy." Yeah,
Love it.
yeah.
So funny.
That was him doing like the fucking Emancipation Proclamation. He was just
Yeah.
like bombing at first, and he was like, "Guys, this is some good shit. Come on."
Apparently, I mean, Gore Vidal's interpretation of the text of the first inaugural
Mhm.
is that Lincoln was saying to the southern states basically that he'll let you keep your slaves if you just come back to the Union. Just come back.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to deal with it. Just come back.
Yeah, because war was so costly. It's funny that they didn't think they were going to win, really, because the South was winning a lot in the beginning of the war.
Yes, they had no money. They had no troops. They had no men.
Yeah.
Lincoln had to institute the draft.
Dude, yeah, it's actually amazing the North won. Like they were like on their heels for like 2 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lincoln was one of I think the most interesting character in history, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, well in American history for sure, like no doubt. Yeah, I think even more than Washington, because Washington just kind of he birthed it, but he didn't shape it. I think Lincoln actually shaped it into a modern, because like the U.S. that came out of 1865, like the Reconstruction period, all that led up to like the Industrial Age, and that was a huge like direct vector, I guess, which is good and bad, obviously, because Reconstruction was fucked up.
Right, you could call Washington important. You could call him great, but you could not call him a genius, and you could call him a genius.
I would say FDR also. That's a big. I mean, that's like because he was fucking president like 4 times. That's so much time.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
A lot of time.
Yeah.
I mean, Lincoln was a bona fide genius. Like
absolutely.
I mean, having he had so little education and read so little and was, one of the best lawyers in the land.
Yeah,
Wrote better prose than anyone in American history, in my opinion. He just
yeah,
his word for word writing was absolutely
yeah.
gorgeous.
But also incredibly open-minded, which is cool because like he took in
Yeah,
Frederick Douglass. He like was letters with Marx. Like he was
yeah,
very on the like, yeah. Which yeah, because I mean he said that those like he has those quotes where like he was like white people and black people won't get along. We should just segregate just to like not. But I think that was his misguided
yeah.
thinking on his part. But like, I think he learned better, but he died, so no one knows. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he may have been a little too open-minded at some point because he seems to have reformed to the worse on a few issues. Like he was a
Yeah.
much harder abolitionist before he was a political
Oh,
name
sure.
than
But, it's
after.
crazy though, because like during a civil war, like that's such an unprecedented time of history where like you actually had the chance to like mold the country and like do some pretty radical shit. So it's like pretty crazy. Like to actually have the chance to do that is nuts. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and that is very lucky that he was the president and not someone else. Because yeah,
Absolutely. I mean, the if he had not been president, it would have been Seward. And
oh
Seward's plan, apparently, for getting the South back was to start a war with Spain.
Jesus Christ.
And he thought that North and South would inevitably come together to defend their shores.
Oh, like the Spanish territories, like Cuba, Caribbean
Yeah,
stuff. Oh
yeah,
god, that's such a horrible. Well, it's funny because that actually happened later. Like the Spanish American War was basically
yeah,
that. Where like then they basically rigged the ship to blow up the Maine, and then it was one of the first like news scandals of like yellow journalism and shit. It was
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know much about that, but
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely digging into like AP history now, like 10th grade history stuff.
um,
Just barely
I would
know.
read. I would read just to like interest yourself in the little bitty parts of history. I think Gore Vidal's such a good guide with his novels
Mm,
that like everything he mentions like happened, or there's some legend
that's
about it.
cool.
You know, there's something like that where you can look up anything in his book and find out more and more about. There are just so many rabbit holes to get into with his writing.
Oh, that's cool. So he's more adding like color to it. He's just
Yeah,
like,
he adds color, but it's also just a great novel on its own.
ah,
I was going to tell you those parts that were that I thought really were good examples of the way he was able to compress story.
oh yeah, yeah,
There's a young man who goes. There's a young Southern boy who like represents the feelings the of the South. He's like he's a young man who has the rebel spirit is what he's supposed to be.
sure,
So
yeah.
he's
Just
away.
the picture, the the ideal Southern young
Yeah.
adults kind of guy. Yeah.
Yep, yep. And so he was trying to give you the other side in the person of this fictional character. Like,
Ah.
he does add some fictional characters, but they're just to give you like a sense of what sort of things influence people's thinking.
Right, right. Like this person symbolizes like this
Yeah,
part. Yeah, yeah. No, I like when people when like this is a random tangent, but like in Chernobyl, it was cool because like they simplified it because like everything that happens in that show did happen, but they simplified some stuff for like they turned like 100 scientists into just one character to simplify it.
yeah.
It was a good choice. Yeah, like that sounds pretty cool.
But they split Gorbachev into 1,000 characters.
Yes, he was a lot of characters. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we don't. I think Gorbachev is too much man for one character. You
Yeah, they
split
all
him
have like
up.
a birthmark somewhere.
Yeah, just a
Yeah.
little bit of a birthmark. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so the young man, the young Southern boy, goes to some lady's house, and then Gore Vidal wrote something like, "She was, in his opinion, the best of the nice girls he knew. He liked the notion of liking her the most."
Whoa.
And then, so like the best of the nice girls he knew, you knew there was somebody telling him you should find a nice girl. So there's already
Yeah.
like overweening mother aunt who's telling him to find somebody. You
That's
already have that impression. And then when he says he liked the notion of liking her the most, you tell that he doesn't know her that well, but he can just see himself being her husband,
he's
as you
just
would have
like
had to think back then. Yeah.
yeah, he's just going through the motions like, oh, this is just a
Yeah.
safe bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Certain.
that's it's very depressing, but kind of sweet.
It's yeah, it's depressing, but it's I just thought that was so well encapsulated that he liked the notion of liking her the most.
Yeah, that's very good language.
And
Damn.
there's a part with him going into a bar where he sees where he
A Lincoln walks into a bar.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, this is the Southern boy. He walks into a bar
Oh
and he sees
yes.
some Confederates being really uproariously argumentative about something, and he said it can only be one of two things. Then he just thinks about what it could be, and then it says, "These are my true compatriots," and then it says, "He was suddenly sentimental," and
Ah.
you know how he feels in that
Yeah,
moment.
that's such an interesting thing because it's like the whole archetype of like the young zealous kid,
Yeah,
and like they're so impulsive. It's like if he sees people get riled up, he just
yeah.
instantly like feels the zeal and gets enraptured by all the
Hmm.
commotion. Yeah, it's like
Yeah, and
that's
Gore
very cool.
Yeah, Gore Vidal's able to portray tribalism in him so well.
Yeah, for sure.
You can
Yeah.
feel it, like you're being radicalized with him as you read it.
Yeah, it reminds me of like All Quiet on the Western Front, where like they're all like the school kids, like teenagers, and then like 20 pages later they're just indoctrinated, completely brainwashed, like
I
so fucked up.
want to read that. I haven't read it.
It's good. It's a good one. Yeah, it's a lot of like soldier life, but it's like very similar concept where like they don't really know, they really have no valid reason to be fighting. They just like think they do, and they're just
Yeah.
like very young, and people take advantage of that completely. So it's like it's pretty creepy. It's sad.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You have to.
That's interesting. That sounds cool. Vidal book. It's like all about it seems pretty broad. It's not just Lincoln.
Yeah, it is. It's supposed to give you a sense of what it was like at that time.
Ah,
It's also just a great novel on its own. It's a great literary achievement. The writing is great. Um,
Vidal.
the
What year is this? Like
characterization,
70s, 60s, 70s?
something like that. It was I think it was 70s or 80s. But
Nice.
let me find one passage with Lincoln just to give you an idea of how well he characterizes him.
Yes, please.
Okay. Let's see. Um, so the context of this is William Seward has written a secret note
Hmm.
that Lincoln got, just criticizing everything he's doing and saying he's kind of weak and he's not making decisions fast enough. And then goes, "I respect your opinion, Mr. Seward, as always." Lincoln was bland as he redrew the fatal, Seward was beginning to think, memorandum from his inside pocket. "You make the point that we should shift the issue between us and the rebels from that of slavery to that of union or disunion. I was under the impression that that was exactly what I did in my inaugural address." Lincoln looked Seward straight in the eyes. Although the gray eyes were as dreamy as ever, the left lid was drawn higher than usual. "These are the eyes of a hunter," thought Seward, and he shifted his ground. "I have perhaps felt that you pay too much attention to the abolitionists, and this is causing distress in the border states. Your opinion is valuable to me, Mr. Seward." The eyes continued to stare into Seward's until the Secretary of State affected a cigar smoker's cough in order to pull out his handkerchief and escape that curiously yet entirely disconcerting gaze. "I think Mr. Chase and Mr. Sumner have every so-called abolitionist in the country. Oh, sorry. I think Mr. Chase and Mr. Sumner and every so-called abolitionist in the country would tell you that I have favored too much the sensibilities of the slave owners. But it is your last point, Mr. Seward, which most concerns me." Lincoln looked at the paper in his hand. "You say that whatever policy we do adopt must be prosecuted energetically. I think, sir, we are all agreed as to that. The drift must stop." "Stop the drift." Lincoln looked out the window. "How strange you should use that word. I dreamt last night that I was on a raft on a river so wide that I could not see either shore, and I had no pole, and I was drifting." Lincoln turned back to Seward. "Plainly, Mr. Seward, you were visiting me in my dreams. Now this is what I find most curious." Lincoln put on his glasses and read. "Either the president must do it himself and be all the while active in it, or devolve it into some member of his cabinet." For a moment, Lincoln looked over the top rims of his glasses at Seward, who maintained his Jesuitical smile. Lincoln continued to read. "Once adopted, debate on it must end, and all agree and abide. It is not my especial province, but I neither seek nor assume responsibility. This is a most unusual document, Mr. Seward, most unusual. Lincoln half crumpled the paper and idly stuffed it in his side pocket. You were saying that we need a strong leader from within the cabinet and that we all must obey him when he raises the Navy to attack, say, the French coast. Sir, I see no alternative to this sort of leadership. Would you rather I did not consult the cabinet, that I did not open myself to the views of all? I think there can be too much discussion and too little action. That is possible, but it is not my way to rush into any great event, particularly if it looks as if war is a more than likely result at a time when we have no army to speak of, no navy to speak of, and a treasury that is close to empty. Nevertheless, firm, decisive action, Lincoln tapped the table with one long finger, and Seward stopped as if he had heard the cracking of a whip. There is nothing firmer, nor more decisive, nor, I fear, more irrevocable than my summoning of the troops. Now, I realize that it is your view that our party made a significant error in nominating me instead of you, sir. I've never said such a thing. Lincoln smiled. I'm sure that you are far too loyal a member of my administration ever to say such a thing. But you have just gone and written it confidentially to me. Lincoln paused.
Damn. That was great. It was like a showdown between two, they're both kind of trying to gauge each other. That was very cool. It was like watching like a drama.
It's so well done.
That was cool. Yeah.
Vidal's sense of drama, his sense of suspense.
Yeah, and also and Lincoln kind of figuring him out was cool.
Yes,
that was tight. Yeah.
Figuring Lincoln, Seward still being confused by Lincoln is the great thing too.
Yeah.
Because that's page 104. The first 100 pages is establishing that Seward is a very shrewd and strong political presence, and
he can't even.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and just that part with Lincoln tapping the table with one long finger.
Yeah. And
then he's like, he stopped as if he had heard the cracking of a whip. I think that's so brilliant.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's such a like assertive move. That's really cool. Damn, that's some very good writing. That's so cool. Well, especially because he wasn't. It's like it's very hard to like recreate a historical event and then write it in a way that's actually believable.
Yeah, but he was able to do it. I mean,
for hundreds of pages.
For a long time. I mean, he wrote Burr, which was the same thing, but Aaron Burr, and then he wrote Washington D.C., which handled the Franklin Roosevelt years and all that. He wrote.
That's so cool. So it's almost like a I don't know, what do you call it? Like a theater thing where it's so interesting.
He called it the Narratives of Empire series, and I think there were 6.
That'd be a good name for the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. That's so good. But yeah, he was going to do another one because he said once, stupidly, I skipped over the Spanish-American War. So he was going to do the Spanish-American War, but died.
Oh yeah, that's a shame because I was going to say there's so much intrigue and stuff and like deceit going on. That'd be a cool one because it's
certainly
really cool shit. Mm-hmm. That's tight. Yeah, honestly, I was gonna say we should put like a list somewhere. Maybe we can make a Goodreads or like a long list that we could put all these books on there.
Yeah,
so people could check it out. That'd be cool. Yeah,
absolutely. I'd be so down for that. But if you can. The books are just such good. You get the double joy of learning a lot about history as well as just experiencing one of the greatest literary minds of all time.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Because he was, there was one critic who said Gore Vidal's political imagination is so powerful as to inspire awe.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about it. It's just like he's also able to encapsulate human emotion into such a small space.
Right, and it's cool too because like he is like it's not like subjective. Like he definitely has his own opinions, and they're kind of in there, but like they're not like they don't overtake it. Like he is trying to make a point, but it's like super subtle. That's pretty cool.
It's never just one point. He's just trying. He's giving a balanced assessment of everything.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's funny because like in history, like all the good historians have always been the guys who like add a lot of color to stuff and like Herodotus. Yeah, he was he had a bunch of like secondhand information. He just kind of like grouped it together and it tried to make it like as
Yeah,
realistic as possible.
they're gossips.
Yeah, exactly. But it's the
Um,
best you can get, you know. That's
There's I mean, he's able to be bitchy too. Like the little Gore Vidal narrative bits between the lines are a lot of fun.
oh, that's
Where he,
cool.
where he introduces Charles Sumner. He put he put Sumner laughed, and since he had no sense of humor, nobody could tell exactly what this might mean.
That's so funny. Oh, like I know exactly what that is like. That is
I know.
just everyone's like, was that a joke? Like, what was that? Yeah, it's just
I
that's so
just thought
funny.
there's so many great just little gems like that on every
Uh,
page. They're
what
like,
an what an embarrassing moment that.
you know, and because he had no sense of humor, nobody could decide what this might mean.
That's fucking hilarious. Oh god, that's
Yeah,
great. I love that.
it's so good. But he's such a good observer of people. That's what makes his stuff so
Yeah, exactly. Like the whole emotion, like the finger, long finger, or like the eyelid. Like
yeah, yeah.
no one ever thinks about that shit. It's crazy. Yeah.
I know.
Oh, are you okay?
Yeah, I just got too excited about Gore and like really did start to hyperventilate.
I've got gore on the brain. Yeah.
I got Gore for
Yeah,
me.
yeah. I can't
Yeah,
take
Gore or less on the brain.
it. Yeah, gore or less. Gore or less.
Yeah.
If he was a comedian, like now, he'd be doing like beautiful prose in like a shitty club in Kansas City, and people are eating like chicken wings, and he's like telling them about the greatest shit they've ever heard. And he's like, "Yeah, you can go to my special. It's called Gore or More. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, get on my Patreon.
Yeah, my Patreon."
My patrician.
He's like the greatest.
Yeah, it's so funny. Oh, there's one part that's really great where Lincoln's about to tell a story to his secretaries, and it's
Oh
the
yeah.
first time he tells one of his folksy stories in the book, and he says, "Do you know why men have nipples?" And then it says both secretaries gave the ritual no that took place before each of them.
It was like so commonplace. He's just like always doing that kind of shit. Like, hey, like why'd the chicken cross the road? Like, I don't know why,
Yeah.
Lincoln. Yeah.
And then
What's the punchline? Yeah, what's
he, he just he said something I can't remember. I just
why
can't
do
remember.
men have nipples?
You know why men have nipples? Maybe
It's
I
so
can.
crazy if the president asks you that. You're like, I don't know.
He was
Is
such
this-
a goofy guy.
yeah, I'd be like, is this like a power move? Like, what is this like a
He
test?
just liked having a good time.
Yeah.
But Gore is also able to make him so funny, as well as it being in Lincoln's voice. Like he's able to,
Mm,
he grasped Lincoln's humor.
that's awesome.
There's
Wait,
a
yeah,
part,
like what's his source material for this? How did he
just tons of shit.
tons
Just
of shit? Okay.
like
Yeah.
he was said to have spent so much time at the Library of Congress writing these books.
Right. Okay. I imagine, yeah, because he must have had access to like his letters or to
Yeah.
emulate his style of writing and shit, like how he talks.
Yeah, he had access to everything. He wrote an essay about like he just steeped himself in Lincoln. He wrote an essay about like looking at the contents of Lincoln's pockets and like picking up the glasses and like looking into them. And he had to wear gloves and he could pick up the glasses and look into them.
It's almost like method acting where you just get like so immersed into one thing
Yeah.
and write
And
that's crazy.
And he wrote like a lengthy passage about Lincoln's Bible. The Bible that was used for his inaugurals,
Oh yeah.
and Lincoln had in his house. And then Gore Vidal said, "To the consternation of my guide, I opened." And he said, and since the pages were something, it was clear this book had never been opened before.
I love him being mischievous. He's just like trying to snoop around as much as he can.
I know.
Like, I was like, "Sir, don't open the Bible." Yeah, it's just like,
It's so good. And then
the consternation of my gut. That's funny.
yeah, that's what he said. He said it was clear this book had never been opened before. And then he started talking about how Lincoln didn't believe in God and all.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, it was just like, it pretty much just like a fucking ornament.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so funny.
And
Yeah,
it also captures like just the complexity, like how he was able to be kind of cold and keep people remote while being charming, but also being a dad and husband and shit.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I definitely love those details where like, he sees a book that hasn't been used very much and he connects that to like atheism. Like those are
yeah,
really cool connections. It's
yeah,
fucking
that's a great essayistic ability. That's I don't know,
yeah.
just the flowing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like you find a small detail and extrapolate it to like a big meaning. That's pretty fucking cool.
It's what Nabokov would call a natural transition.
Yeah,
Whereas, yeah, a
very cool.
natural transition would be one thought to another. A rhetorical transition would be like, and then time passed.
Yeah, it's like who fucking cares? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but there's a part where Tad Lincoln's son is hiding under the desk, and like neither Lincoln nor the person in his office knows Tad is there, so they're just like, meeting, and then Tad suddenly a disembodied treble voice sounded in the room. Pa, don't you ever get tired of folks? The consul to be leapt in his chair. We have a ghost in the White House, said Lincoln, gently prodding Tad with his foot. Lately, the boy had taken to hiding under the desk, but we think it is benign.
That's so funny. That's
Yeah.
so cute. That's hilarious.
It's just, yeah, you just,
Don't you ever get tired? Yeah.
don't you ever get tired of folks? Yeah,
Oh, that's so humanizing. That's cool.
I know.
I love that.
It's
Yeah.
so human. It's so human.
So,
From a guy who had famously bottled up all his emotions and humanity. Like
yeah.
he was the most repressed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, hell yeah. That was a good Lincoln dive.
Yeah, man.
It was
And
half Gore appreciation, half Lincoln appreciation.
yes, and just Vidal helps you appreciate Lincoln so much.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we have an hour, so I guess we'd cut it.
Yeah, we can cut it.
That's good. All right. Sweet. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that was that happened. We'll change the name. You'll see.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It'll all be done.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you follow us, tell your friends, send an email, shoot us a message, tag us, call us. I don't know, interact with us in some way. That'd be nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just tell us, just say something so we know we're not just like shooting these into the void. That'd be nice. So
Ask a question.
yeah, ask a question. You
Say
can
a
hate
compliment.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, compliments. That'd be nice.
Mhm.
Yeah. If you email us, Max will give himself like a Hitler mustache next episode.
I will.
That'll be good. Yeah.
Actually, it's too the middle part's too well. I can't do it.
Yeah. You have to have a nice Hitlery filtrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My filter is bare.
You're clearly not the master race.
No.
Yeah, that's how they tell.
No,
Yeah.
apparently not. Is all I can say.
All right. Well, that's a good way to end. So, all right, I'll press pause. Okay.